Marcus, there's some fans, Tennessee Titans, who came out this morning. They have a Suck4TheDuck campaign. They want you really bad. What do you think when you hear about fans actively campaigning for your services in the NFL?
It's pretty surreal. You know, I don't know. I haven't put much thought into it. Obviously, you know, my concern is here, but when you hear those types of things, you know, it's surreal. It's something that you know, really can't wrap my mind around it right now. But you know, we'll see, and we'll see what that future holds.
Flattered at all?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's definitely an honor to, you know, to have, you know, even people talk about that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you know, you try not to worry about those things because it can become a distraction.
This week, Helfrich talked about how you have an internal clock and that it shouldn't necessarily go off within 2 or 3 seconds like some of those fumbles against Arizona did. But when the offensive line is kind of giving up some sacks, do you change the way you think about your clock? Do you shorten it at all? Do you look around to run a little quicker to avoid the fumbles like that?
Yeah, it's a mixture of both. You know, obviously you got to have trust in those guys up front, and if you kind of leave the pocket a little early, you know, you won't. Sometimes you'll miss a receiver up and down the field. So it's finding that happy balance. When you feel like if a play's taking too long to develop, you know, then I will kind of take off a little early. But you know, obviously trust those guys up front, and you know, we're gonna ride with those guys.
That's something you just get a sense as the game goes on.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry.
Helfrich talked about this week how you guys had a very good work ethic. Do you feel like the sense of urgency improved?
Definitely, and you know, it says a lot about the character of these guys. You know, we were able to come out on Monday and kind of set the tone, and you know, all week it's been a really good practice, and we just finished a really good walkthrough. So, you know, with that being said, we got to put all this work into the game, and you know, these guys are prepared well, and we're ready for the game.
Is this a must-win game?
I think for us, every game's a must-win. You know, for us, if we can control and take into our own hands what we have to and win these games, you know, eventually we'll like where we're at in December.
Marcus, there's been a couple things written about UCLA prior to the season had this game and a couple of others circled on their calendar, basically saying like they're not going to be in the upper echelon until they beat you guys. What do you make of that? I know you get every team's best shot every week, but you know, what do you make of that and, you know, the mindset at UCLA, similar to what you guys are dealing with right now?
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. You know, whenever we go out on the field, we're going to get a team's best, and you know, that's what we expect. And UCLA is going to come in; they're going to be ready to play. I know, obviously, last year with how the game happened, you know how close it was, and then we kind of ran away with it. Those guys are going to be really motivated and prepared for this one.
How do you personally avoid all the talk of, you know, Oregon's in a must-win situation? They're not out of the national title hopes yet. The conference title is definitely not out of reach. How do you avoid all the blogosphere, the Twitter, the Facebook talk?
Just not pay attention to it. I mean,
how do you do that?
I don't have social media, so that helps a lot. But yeah, I mean, just not paying attention to it. You know, people are going to have their opinions. People are going to say what they want to say, but for us, what matters is the opinions in the locker room and having that ability to believe in each other and just go out there and trust what we have and trust our coaches and just play.
Go out and play golf too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, with the golf class that I have, it's kind of nice to get away for a little bit.
If you weren't a football player, do you think you'd have social media?
No, probably not.
Just nothing you've ever been interested in? Or?
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know, social media is a way to kind of let people into your personal life, and for me, I don't really like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't have one even if I didn't play football.
What's the balance like most weeks like just fixing what you guys are doing the week before versus watching maybe film on UCLA this week? Just what's kind of the schedule like on?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's you come in the day after the game and talk about what you need to get better, and then flush it. You know, it's on to the next team. And you know, for us, it's kind of how it's always been. And you know, with last week's loss on Thursday, we came in on Friday, talked about it, discussed it, and flushed it and got ready for UCLA.
Do you guys have a heavier UCLA film day during the week, or like just scouting the opponent in general? Is there a certain day that's heavier than the rest of the week, or is it kind of balanced throughout?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much balanced throughout and upon yourself if you want to continue to watch film. I mean, they give us, you know, iPads to be able to watch huddles whenever we're away from the facilities. So it's really on the player if he wants to continue to watch film, but the coaches definitely keep it balanced.
Marcus, I know they say football players are never 100% during the season, but how are you feeling right now? I mean, we heard from Coach Frost, obviously, last week about you being banged up. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Obviously it's the typical nicks and dings of a regular season, so it's football, and you just gotta play. Sometimes you gotta play a little banged up, and I'm accustomed to it, so I'm ready to go.
Now that you've had some time to put some distance between you and the UCLA or the Arizona game, what problems did you see that you guys might be able to fix this coming week?
Definitely communication. That was probably the forefront of our problems in that game, and now that we've gone through a week of practice of over communicating and making sure that we overstate our communication, it's been good, and that's definitely something that we've been able to fix.
Did you study Brett Hundley much, and how do you think you compare to him?
I don't want. You probably asked Efo. I'm sure he's watched a lot more Brett Hundley than I have, but being able to meet him at the Manning camp and being able to work out with him, he's a great player. His physical tools are what makes him special, and his ability to kind of create even when there's nothing there is something that he's really good at, and obviously our defense has to be prepared for it.
You guys got along pretty well, because having met both of you guys have a similar demeanor.
Yeah, we did. He's definitely a good guy. He was very nice when we were at the Manning camp, and like you said, he seems pretty cool and low key.
How important is it to have a balance of running and passing for your guys' offense?
I think that's critical in any offense. It makes you multi-dimensional. If you just can throw the ball, then they'll drop 8 guys in the coverage, and vice versa. So obviously having a balance will make our offense a lot more dangerous, and we've worked on it.
Is it kind of important to maybe establish that run game early in this game on Saturday?
We'll see. We're going to execute whatever they have for us, and obviously if we do start getting the game and we're running the ball efficiently, then we'll keep doing it.
Marcus, last year UCLA had a couple hits on you and DeAnthony that kind of straddled that line as the whistle's going. Do you have to be extra wary of their aggressiveness all the way through the whistle?
Not necessarily. I think for us, we just got to play within the lines and play with our heads on. Right? We can't let little things like that get to us, because then you kind of overanalyze and try to do too much. So just focus on what we have to do and take care of what we have to.
Are there any true, this is kind of piggybacking off of the Brett thing, but you've talked a lot about like all the different quarterbacks you went to the Manning camp with and how everybody's nice. And are there any true old school rivalries amongst, it seems like all you guys like each other and everyone's a good guy, and is there anybody that just sucks?
No, not at all. I think being a part of that Manning camp and being a part of so many good quarterbacks and really just kind of getting to know some of those guys, it's special. You don't really get to do that where all these quarterbacks are in the same place, and for the most part, guys were nice. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's nobody that was a dick or something like that. Guys were nice, and being a part of that was a lot of fun, and it was quite enjoyable.
So you're saying you don't like Sean Mannion?
No, he was great. Sean Mannion was one of those guys that I kind of hung out with most of the time when I was there, and we kind of talked a little bit, and it's funny that he's only 36 miles away, and we never really got to meet each other till then. So again, when you get to meet all these guys and see how they are off the field, and see that they're good people too, just kind of, it's like you said, there's no real old school rivalries, and it's just kind of fun to just be able to be part of that.
Everyone might be nice to you, but do you see any rivalry between them two? Anyone else?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure, once you get on the field, people will obviously not necessarily root against each other, but there is definitely competition there, and yeah. So.
In your experience, you don't like broccoli? Or
I don't like spiders.
Okay.
Yeah, spiders are not.
He's
yeah.
human.
So what do you do when it's crawling around on the floor in your house? What do you do?
I squish it, but yeah, I don't like them at all.
Get the Twitters. It's one thing that Marcus doesn't.
In your experience, what's the most important part of making sure a team doesn't beat you twice, coming out the next week and making sure you're on your game?
It starts with practice. If you kind of come out lackadaisical on that Monday and still kind of feel sorry for yourself, then you lose a day of preparation. So for us, being able to come out this past Monday with a sense of urgency, with a sense of getting things done, shows that guys understand that we just got to flush it and move on. Thank you.